Ooh, welcome in to the Bold Sports Show. How you doing? How you living? NFL Week 18, into the regular season. We finally here. It happened so fast, I couldn't believe it. Came and went before you knew it. Is your team making the playoffs? Let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about these Week 18 picks. Shout out to my boy Gibbs, always the first one in the room. Call him Mr. MVP. See if we can't get his name on the screen. There we go, folks. Make sure you check him out. Hit the little like and subscribe for everybody. Let's see what we're getting into. Let's see. The first game of the week. As you guys see, my co host is not here today, so it is just these one picks. We got Mr. Hervey in. What is going on? Tonight is a good night already. Look at it. Getting it. Getting it. He caught a live one. How about that? Shout out the Steelers. Been sub for a long time. Let me predict some games. Let's get into it. Let's do it. Let's start out. We got the first game of the week, an easy one for you. Let's get some layups in the house. We got the Browns versus the Ravens. I'm gonna take a wild guess. Take a wild guess that you're also going to pick the Ravens. This might be the biggest point spread I've seen all year at 17 and a half points. The money line at a minus 2,000, which means you would have to bet $2,000 to make $100. That's how confident they are in the Ravens. Let's get it. He's got, let me see, the first one is 32-19 Ravens. That could be it. That could be it. That feels about, something like that. That puts in a nice little 21 point, cover the spread. Look, that's the crazy part is even at a 17 and a half point spread, like you feel kind of almost comfortable betting that. Like I'd look for an alt line with like 13 and a half. Like I think they win by 2 touchdowns, but 17 and a half just feels like they're asking for a whole lot to break even for a nice even bet. Irvy said, I don't know about them Steelers. We struggling big time. Look, we're going to talk about them. We're going to get into the Steelers. It's actually the next game on the list. Let's go ahead and bring it up. Since you're in the house, we should have skipped, honestly. But let's talk about it. This is a big matchup. This is a big matchup. Steelers versus Bengals. Bengals need to win, and they need the Broncos to lose and Miami to lose. It's asking for a lot, especially against a tough Steelers team. Do the Steelers play crazy in this one? I don't know. Do they rest people? Do you play everybody? He's got 24-27 Bengals. He said he's going to take the Ravens, even though he needs them to lose. I feel you there, Hervey. Like it's just, the obvious pick is there. It is absolutely it. And he's going. Just to clarify, we got another Houday. We got another believer. Last second field goal. And you're going with Cincinnati, wasn't it? Let me scroll up here. Yeah, 27-24 Bengals. This is what Gibbs has. Gibbs has been pretty hot, too. This is a tough one for me. The Bengals need it more. It just, I don't know. I think the Bengals are 2-point dogs on the road. I think, are the Steelers playing? I don't think the Steelers need this game. This game doesn't make or break the Steelers. I bet they rest. We're going to have to go Bengals, and I bet they cover the point spread. I hate to say it, Hervey. I truly do. I truly do. You know how I like to pick these Steelers, but you're right. They've been on a little skid here, kind of coming back down to earth, if we're going to be realistic. And not the momentum you want going into the playoffs. Like, what's that, losing the last three or four or something like that? I think that I don't have the schedule in front of me, so I'd have to double check. But I'm pretty sure it is something like that. 39% of the public believes in Pittsburgh. Do the Ravens rest players? Like the Ravens don't. I guess they'll be in trouble if they did lose this game. But I feel like even with backups, they get it. It's close. He said we're playing everyone. We need this game to win. Can't lose four going into the playoffs. But is it a must-win game though? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Besides the momentum factor, Hervey, the Steelers can lose this game no problem. Personally, I would bench some players. I would rest some guys. What's the point? You got the playoffs coming up next week. Next week is when it matters. Nothing about this game actually matters for the Steelers. You know, they could be looking at some seating differential, like where you're going to go, but it is where it's going. Sam said, I feel like the Ravens are going to win the NFC. Look, we're getting it. We got to talk. That's the last game of the week, I believe. We're going to get talking about that one. That's game of the year potential here. He said, nope, Lions are. Look, Gibbs, get them. Get them. Tell them about what your Lions about to do. I can't believe the NFC North is still up for debate even. This is crazy. This is nuts. Hervey said, yeah, must win. We need to keep at least the fifth seed. But, I mean, it gets you the what? You get maybe the sixth, seventh seed. And fifth seed, I mean, it's going to get you an easier game, kind of. You know, you feel a lot better about going into Houston than you do like Buffalo or something, you know, or I don't think it's a deal breaker though. I do feel you on momentum though, because we've kind of felt this swing with the Steelers. It's kind of gone to the point where we're getting a little hurt, you know, like you don't want to. It hurts to lose games, you know. It's not there. We play the Texans. That's the better matchup. Yeah, it is kind of a because I feel like you could go toe to toe with the Texans right now. That is a much more winnable game. To the Steelers matchup, the matchup well against Buffalo. They do, you know, that's not the worst of places to go either. But it is you know, I'd rather go down to Houston than Buffalo every day of the week. Every day of the week. Without a question of a doubt. Panthers, Falcons. Oh, we're getting the scores in early. I don't want to peek. You're cheating, Gibbs. You're gonna influence my opinion. But let's get into it. Panthers, Falcons. Falcons gonna try to win this game. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Panthers are the upset. This is one of those upsetting potentials. They're gonna mess up their draft pick. Give me the Panthers in the upset. I don't like this 8.5 point dog. No, give me Falcons. I like Penix. I like Penix too much to not pick him. But I think this one has. I'm going to circle back on this one. You know how we do our tailgate shows Sunday morning. I'm going to get back on this one. I'm not 100%. This one has upset potential. This 8.5 point spread. Only 4% of the public believes it. I just don't know. You see, JM said Bengals will be tough if Jets pull off a miracle win against Miami. Look, they need more than that, too. They need Kansas City to win as well. They need the Broncos to lose, and there's a lot of questions about that being a realistic possibility. We have to be Chiefs fans for this week. Look, everybody's trying to be Chiefs fans. Did y'all see the bandwagon video I posted? Look, I told people everybody about to start jumping on the bandwagon. Everybody wanted to hate on Kansas City, but all of a sudden here we are needing Kansas City to win for all these other possibilities to become a possibility. You know, the Bengals, the Dolphins. I think it's the Dolphins. I truly think the Dolphins win and sneak in. But the Dolphins got it's not Tua, and it makes me nervous. Let me go here. Harvey, what we got? Yeah, I'll rather my chances after the win against the Bengals. We can win against the Texans after that. Who knows? Look, you're in it, bro. You're in the dance, man. Who knows? That's what I'm talking about. Like, once you win one, you start getting that little tingly feeling in the playoffs. You know, as a Chiefs fan, I remember when winning one was like a dream. JM says Wentz will do it. Look, don't be sleeping on Wentz. There's Chiefs backups. The Chiefs depth is ridiculous. And all these guys want to prove there's something for some reason. These Broncos fans are praying the Chiefs lose and have backups and don't want to win, but they don't understand how much the Chiefs really would love to not have them in the playoffs. Like it would just make their day. It would truly make the day. I'm forever a Wentz fan. I feel you there. I'm not going to post your score, Gibbs. I'm going to hold those off for a minute. Dolphins have the easiest path. Jets are tanking. They do. They do, but it's not Tua. It's not Tua. They're out there with the 40th best quarterback, and then not even the 40th, probably the 53rd best quarterback in the NFL playing Sunday. So it makes you a little nervous for Miami. But I think it's they sneak in. They can sneak in. It's not like Wentz had talent around him in Philly, not like he does in Kansas City. Only thing we have is we beat the Texans. We face your Chiefs against the second round. Yeah, which is look, you know how that goes. You know how that one's going. Your local Bama and Houston insider. Here we go. Bengals are not making it. Who said I'm delusional? Look, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? How am I delusional? You see the Chiefs fandom. I just told you they need the moon and the stars to align for them to even make the playoffs. But we're getting into that hypothetical situation here. All right, let's get the next one on the list. Gibbs is running away with the scores. I'm gonna have to scroll up to. You're gonna have to post them again, so I don't have to scroll so far. Let me see. I'm talking about Hervey. No, he's not delusional. You know, he's very realistic. Hervey has been pretty spot on. You know, he's very concerned about the losing streak. You know, he knows that he's got a lot to do to prove and be in a situation. I think he's very realistic. You know, he knows that going to play the Texans is better than playing the Bills. Like he's spot on. He thinks the Bengals are making it. No, I mean, I've seen crazier things happen. They're not fully eliminated. You can't call that crazy. It ain't crazy. Steelers ain't getting into the Steelers watch. Uh, Steelers are winning the AFC. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? What are you talking about? The Steelers are winning the AFC. You've got the Steelers to the Super Bowl, and you want to talk about Hervey being a little delusional. Jeez Louise. To the Super Bowl, the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Look, this might be one of those quoted moments. He's calling a shot. I ain't heard nobody picking the Steelers in the Super Bowl. Shout them out. Gibbs is saying the Lions get the number one seed. It's possible. This is we got the game of the year coming Sunday. It's coming. The Bengals ain't getting in on the Steelers' watch. Exactly. Irving thinks they win it Sunday. They ain't even got a. He said he's playing Dream Crusher one way or the other. He's going to. He said he's packing the bags to Houston. Steelers are that good. Look, they're good. They are good. However, however, we are in the Mahomes era. Okay. The problem is you're going to run into the brick wall that is the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't think calling the Steelers Super Bowl is very, it's bold. Hey, this is the bold sports show. You're in the right place for these takes. Most people will call you crazy. I call you bold, man. That's bold. And they're in the dance. Once you're in the dance, once you're playing the game, doing the little, you're not at home on the couch like these Cowboys or nothing. You're not sitting at home like the Raiders. You're in the dance. You got invited to the ball. Look, these Steelers have shown they can win. They need to rewind the clock like 5 weeks. That's the problem. That's the real problem with the Steelers. Steelers won't win the Super Bowl, but I think they can make it. I like it. I like it. Who's your NFC pick? Who's your NFC pick? Let's see. Let's see where you're going with the NFC. We need to get these. Look, this is how you know we're getting excited. We ain't talking about these easy games, these blowaways. Commanders, Cowboys, Commanders, duh. Like Bears, Packers, duh. Like these end of the year, you get some easy ones. Like you can start. I need to build a parlay. Just all these easy. This might be the easiest week to hit every game on. Just build a crazy. This might be the week I do a 10-week parlay. 10. I usually don't like these long parlays, but when you start getting these some freebies, like give them to me. Give them to me. Kendrick said Minnesota Vikings are going all the way. Look, I've said Lions since the beginning of the season. I'm starting to get nervous. Starting to second guess myself. Let me see. Let me back up just a little bit. I'll get your comments in. Your local Bama boy said his NFC pick is the Vikings. I like it. I like it. And Mula, hope I'm saying that right. Apologies if I got it wrong. American public education for you. If anyone's beating Mahomes, it's either Lamar or Josh. Yeah, I mean those are pretty much the only two guys that I feel like could stand in the way, and I really don't feel nervous about either one of them, to be honest with you. Let me get into this one. I seen Xavier Worthy, so I gotta. Where's my young nation at? Xavier Worthy's the new special wide receiver to win the Super Bowl like 49ers last year. Yeah, there's a lot to that. Look, the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, I think really cemented it. I think that was the veteran. Like I always think, like it seems like you want to see who the teams that are going to make it to the Super Bowl. You can almost watch where these veterans go at the like from either like the trading block, once the trade deadline ends, or like they sign at the end of it. When the Chiefs signed Terrell Suggs, I knew they were going to win the Super Bowl for sure. They want to give these legends rings. I'm not saying it's rigged. I'm not saying the NFL is rigged. But if it was, you got to give the legends rings. Tedrick has got the Vikings. Herbie says, what happened there? Scrolled a little far. Scrolled a little fast. There we go. We are a middle team at the moment. This 3-game losing streak has been bad. I just know beating the Bengals, we can beat the Texans after that. It's up in the air because we have to play the Chiefs. Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think it's you. And look, the Texans aren't a cakewalk either. Okay, this is the playoffs. Everybody's in it to win it. And honestly, I think just making the playoffs is a pretty big accomplishment for the Steelers. I know my co-host. He told me before the season started, these Steelers are legit. I shot a little lower than he did, but man, out here proving it. Steelers Vikings Super Bowl. Oof, I've got Chiefs Lions still. I'm there. Mahomes leads 41 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in playoffs. That's about right. Vikings Steelers in the Super Bowl. Is that what we're getting? That's what we're getting. Hot take, but statistically, these two teams are studs. Look, we're here for it. This is the Bold Sports Show. If you're going to make those takes, if you're going to have those opinions, this is the place to talk about it. It's a possibility. Like we all want to snicker. I know what you're saying. It's not real. There's no way. I can't see the Steelers making the Super Bowl. However, any given Sunday, they're in the dance. This is a realistic possibility. There's actual lotto numbers on this, right? You can actually go to Vegas and place that book or that bet on that book. But what book you can't is that Cowboys Raiders. You're not placing that bet, so we can't laugh at them. Only thing in the way of the Chiefs and the Vikings or the Chiefs and the Lions. Look, that's my pick. That's my pick, and I did a preseason. It's there. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Y'all can go season by season into how many of these Super Bowl matchups I get correct. Like I'm pretty. I get the matchups right. Not always the winners. I get the matchups. Let's see. We got Young. Young said Chiefs backup is a Super Bowl champ. Right? We got 2 Super Bowl quarterbacks. It is true. That's the reason Andy Reid likes those veteran guys that he can rely on. He likes the guy that can hold the clipboard good. Mula said Steelers did not win in the Super Bowl. They need to fix their in-house dramas first. Ravens are taking the AFC North division. Look at that. You want to talk about cleaning up in their house? The Ravens didn't take control of the AFC North until this last week. Until this very last week. Right? This was supposed to be the Ravens' clear runaway. Now, I am happy I got my pick right. I'm not going to lie. I picked the Ravens to win the AFC North. My co-host picked the Steelers, and I am excited to be right. Little told you so action. But they're not very far off with a lot less on, like you want to talk about a quarterback drop-off in a quarterback-driven league. Look, Mike Tomlin's showing you another coaching performance. This dude is nuts. Mike Tomlin is an underrated coach. Lions, Chiefs, if not Steelers, Vikings. Harvey says Steelers can definitely beat the Texans. They have no wideouts. I'm really not worried. More worried about the Chiefs in the second round. Look, and that's if you get Texans, right? We got to take care of business Sunday. This might not be the road you're going down. I'm not 1,000% sure that you beat the Bengals this week. Honestly, I'm so far into the it don't matter category. I mean, you get an easier game, and that does help. But I feel like I'd almost take the rest. I'd rather get a little health. Steelers cannot beat the Texans, which is my opinion. You need them to, don't you? How are you getting the Steelers to the Super Bowl if they can't beat the Texans? The Texans probably, if we're going to be honest with you, probably the easiest playoff team in the race. Who's easier than the Texans? If you ask me, the easiest teams to talk about is probably going to be the Texans. I'm not super huge on the Broncos. I think the Chargers can put up a little bit of fight, but I'm not scared of them. But you got to be able to beat the Texans. That's if the Steelers face the Texans. Yeah, If they win Sunday, that's who they play. They play the Texans. They've got to be able to. And honestly, if they can't beat the Texans, I don't see how they beat a team like the Bills, Ravens, Chiefs. If we're gonna, the three juggernauts of the AFC is just standing right there in front of you. Like, how do they maneuver past them? I think it makes it a little bit tough there. It makes it a little bit tough. Like, do you like their odds better against the Bills than the Texans? If and Harvey said, "Oh, okay, it's the Ravens." For some reason, I was thinking it was the Bills. For some reason, I was thinking you guys were dropping down. I guess you don't drop that far. Look, and the Ravens. I do like the Texans matchup. I think you're absolutely right. Right. The Texans are the easier matchup than the Ravens, but but I like the odds against the Ravens. It's not a complete blow away for the Ravens, like a lot of people think it might be. The Pittsburgh's shown they can beat the Ravens. That's not impossible. That's if the Steelers face the Texans. So who are you facing, Bama? Who you prefer? If you're a Steelers fan, which I'm guessing you are, which is kind of interesting for a Bama in Houston kind of guy. But who do you think is easier? Do you think the Texans are a harder team to beat than the Ravens? Is that your philosophy? Because we'll be the 6th seed, Ravens will be the 3 seed if we lose to the Bengals on Saturday. Okay, thanks for that, Harvey. He's got the correct matchup for me. So, it's hard to be on top of all these. There's so many different scenarios to play down. It's hard to know every single one of them. So I appreciate the support, Harvey. Getting making sure we get our facts correct. We're going. Let me see here. What we got, Sam? I like the odds better against the Bills for the Steelers. Bills possibly lack wide receiver depth, so you can focus on stopping Cooks and Allen's rush. Man, man, there's some truth to that too. I honestly, I think the Ravens are the second hardest team in the AFC right now. And the Bills, and it's gonna be cold. Luckily Pittsburgh can handle that. They're a cold weather team too. You prefer the Bills. You'd rather play the Bills, and you know that you can beat them. Look, I like this confidence. I like this confidence. Let's shout it out. So in a dream world, what would this scenario look like? What's that? You play the Texans in the first week, and then that would have you go to Baltimore. No, that would have you go to the Bills. Would that have you go to the Bills? Depends on who wins, I guess. It all depends on who wins. It depends. No, if you play the Texans, you would play the Ravens next, and the Chiefs would get the easier one of it. Texans make it to the AFC Championship. They'll lose to the Chiefs. I thought you had the Steelers going to the AFC. What happened to that? We're changing it up quick, Bama. That's if they make it though. Okay. See what you're saying. I don't really like the matchup against the Bills. Copper has been playing lights out lately. 7th seed goes to Buffalo. Yeah, 7th seed goes to Buffalo. So you're looking at, what's it? Broncos, Miami, Bengals, something like that. I think those are your outside odds going in. Colts messed it up, man. I couldn't believe the Colts fumbled that bag against the Giants. That was ridiculous. It was like the only game I didn't get right last week. It was stupid. It was a stupid upset. Let me see what else we got on the board. Texans Titans this week. We're going Texans with the ease on that one, even though they might be resting guys. You got to be careful with that. That could be a trap game. It's got a trap written over it. Jags Colts. I'm going Jags. I'm going Jaguars. That's going to be the upset. That's an upset of the week. I can't believe they're 5-point dogs for the Jaguars, even though they don't need a win. They really don't need a win. Bills Patriots, Bills by a country mile. Giants Eagles, Eagles even with the backups. Bucks Saints, that's going to be a Buckers. Chiefs Broncos. Broncos 10.5-point favorites. Dear Lordy Wody. Amari Cooper has been playing out. That's what I meant to say. Oh, yeah, I got you. He's been spotty, man. He's real spotty. I'm pretty sure if you look at his production this year, he's been real hit and miss. But when he's on, Amari Cooper is on. I do agree with you there with that on the Bills. And I do think that veteran wide receiver help was extremely beneficial for him. You know, they definitely needed that. I think that presence in the locker room will definitely be felt. But yeah, you know, that's I just get worried anytime you're taking that step up into the top three category. But I don't think it's a lot of people will count the Steelers completely out against the Bills. And I think it's a lot closer. I think it's a lot closer of a game than a lot of people want to give it credit for. I think that one's not so bad. I think it's got a little potential for some upset. Let me see. Chiefs Broncos, 10.5-point dogs. Jeez. Jeez. Only 38% of the public believes in Kansas City. Do I dig Taylor? I take the money line for the Chiefs is a plus 400. The money line for the Chiefs is a plus 400 to play spoiler. Ooh, I like it. I like it so much. But the problem is the Chiefs could want this Broncos to make the playoffs. That could be a preference. It really could be a preference. But I don't think it actually is. Because the sneaky thing is the chain is Broncos, Miami, Bengals. The Bengals still have to win against the Steelers. They could lose that game. And Miami could win. Miami could sneak into the playoffs and take the Broncos spot. And the Chiefs would be absolutely okay with that. They would be absolutely perfectly fine with that situation. That's like the most ideal situation possible. Sam Mason says, even though the Steelers beat the Ravens this year, but playing the Ravens and going to Buffalo could be a super hard path. Yeah, it's not. Look, you want to talk about a hard road, and then you go to Kansas City. Talk about having to take down the trifecta. Like, yeah, that's asking a lot for the Steelers. That's asking for a lot. Local Bama said, "What do you I'm not sure about the uniforms. I didn't hear anything about the uniforms, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. And he lagged out. I think, yeah, it's every once in a while it'll do something funky. I'm slowly upgrading all my equipment, so one of these days we'll have a problem-free stream. It was I had a good. We have to stream from StreamYard because like doing it directly from YouTube, like it would crash on me in like the first 10 minutes for no reason. And I don't think it's lag because I have really good internet service. And like it just I don't. Sometimes it messes up. I don't understand how these big YouTubers never have a problem, and it seems like I get one every time. Doesn't make it sense. Broncos, Titans, Lions, and Bengals using their alt. Broncos using their orange pants. At the Steelers, yeah, that's a little funky. I like it when they do. I like it when they spice it up. You know, it. I think they should do it a little more often with some stuff. Like I wish the Chiefs had. Every once in a while they do like the black jersey, which is pretty cool. I'm a fan of it. I think it adds something to the collection. I think it helps the youth. Anybody, any of these kids that are into fashion or whatever, like, I could see them wanting all the different color waves and whatnot. Let's see, next game on the list, we got Chargers Raiders. I'm going to go Chargers. Yeah, and you said Bengals are using the orange pants. Yeah. I mean, I'm down for it. Seahawks Rams. Ooh, this one's got a little feistiness to it. I'm going, and they got the Rams 7-point favorites or dogs. How are the Rams 7-point dogs at home? Is there something on the Rams injury list that I did not see? Rams, oh, they're probably sitting. They're probably sitting. I bet that's what it is. Because I like the Rams in this one. So I'm not sure what it is. Let me see. Lions and Eagles are using their blackout. I like the look. I like the blackout look. I like when the Chiefs do it. I like those black jerseys. The Chiefs will change it up every once in a while. Do red on red. We'll do the red pants. That's always a good look to me too. Or we said you were right. If we beat the Texans, we would not have to play the Chiefs because they lowered remaining seed left goes to the Chiefs. Yeah, I think if you beat the Texans, you would go on to the Ravens. And that's if the Ravens and Bills win their games, I believe. No, I think you would go to Kansas City. No, I think you would go to Kansas City. You would need one of the other teams to lose. Because if the Ravens and Bills win their playoff game, you would be the only wild card team left, and that would give the Chiefs the lowest remaining. So you'd have to come back to Kansas City. Yeah, we've seen how that New Year's or that Christmas game went. Try to warn you. I didn't want to break your heart on Christmas, but sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes you got to do it. Hey, look, I finally needed it. I had family over. It was nice to enjoy a little Christmas celebration. Sorry, it was at your expense, though. You know, always hurts a little bit. Uh, Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins only 1-point favorites. This is crazy. The respect the Jets get is out of this world. They don't even want to win this game at this point. 49ers, Cardinals. Give me a game that don't matter. Give me the Cardinals. I think Brock Purdy's not playing that game, just to give you a warning. And the game of the year. The game of the year. Let me see. San Diego will be a lower seed than Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh wins on Sunday, yes. If they win on Sunday, they need to beat Cincinnati, I believe. Yeah, that's what I thought we would have to have is the upset to not force the Chiefs in the second round. Yeah, and it could happen. You know, I could see the upset. I'm trying to think how do the Broncos make it into the playoffs? That's really the question. Can it really just that's the question with the AFC and the seeding is really is with the Steelers, can they pull off that win? And does Kansas City play upset? Do they allow someone else to sneak in? And it just feels like the drama says yes. The drama, look, I'm not going to put that Chiefs Broncos game in my parlay because I don't want it to mess up my parlay. And just insider baseball thing here, I don't put the Chiefs in any of my parlays just because it'd already make me mad that they lost and make me mad I lost money. I don't need it to upset my parlay. That plus 400, I might put a couple units on that bad boy and see if I can't 4x that money real quick. I just got a feeling in my boots. And when I got the feeling, it always pays off. If the Steelers win, the Broncos get in. The Broncos need to beat the Chiefs to get in. If the Broncos beat the Chiefs, they are in. If the Chiefs beat the Broncos, that opens the door up for the Miami Dolphins. If the Miami Dolphins lose, that would open up the door for the Bengals if they win on Sunday. I think the only thing the Bengals game could possibly matter for is wild card seeding for the Steelers. That's the only thing that it can. That's why I kind of am on the side of rest them. If I was the Steelers, I'd really kind of think about resting them. But I also see Harvey's point of not losing four straight. Like that's not how you want to. 4-game losing streak is not how you want to go into the playoffs. And honestly, if you can knock out the Bengals from the playoffs, that's a win for the Steelers too. Like you could upset them there. Them lose. Oh man, that would destroy my little parlays though, I think. That would destroy my parlay. Vikings Lions. And I think this is going to be my dog of the week. I think the Vikings upset them here. I think the Vikings upset the Lions. I think the Vikings win the North. I think that's crazy to say because I do have the Lions going to the Super Bowl. But I woke up yesterday morning. It was like the Vikings are going to beat the Lions this week. How to get it in my head and how to prepare for it mentally. Like, and does that mean, like, I had a question if I should be changing my pick if somehow suddenly the Vikings are going to the Super Bowl. But I don't think it is. I think the Lions lose this game and somehow become a 14-2 wild or 14-3 wild card team, which is crazy in itself. It is crazy in itself. Harvey said he's taking the Vikings and get the 1 seed. Look, I think I'm going to too. I think I'm like y'all making me more confident. And when it's not just me, it makes it a little more confident in it. And I think my co-host dude with the beard would be a little shocked at this pick. This is slightly bold. But I think the Vikings play upset here. They play upset. A lot of people are going to be kind of shocked that the Vikings won the NFC North. Crazy to say, folks. So crazy to say out loud. That's so crazy to think about. Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking, Hervey said, Vikings are more healthy at the moment, or at least look more healthy at the moment. And that's kind of what I based my pick on too. I just feel like they're right there in it. They're right there with it. It's crazy to think about. Harvey, we're winning money this week. We are winning money this week. I might even I gotta leave the upsets out of the parlay. I like my cakewalks. There's a couple upsets, like minor upsets, that are just, Vegas book errors. So I'm gonna check those out. But this will be an interesting week. It'll be an interesting one. Well, folks, this has been your picks for week 18. Can't believe regular season is over. I think there was Saturday games, wasn't there? Am I gonna? I think I might. That's questionable. If I tailgate Saturday, it might be early. I got family getting ready to leave town, and got to get the day in. So we might do an early one Saturday. What's upcoming? What day is that? Are these Saturday? Yeah, these are Saturday games. Saturday, Saturday, or two Saturday games: Brown Ravens, Bengals Steelers. Uh, I might tailgate for that Bengals Steelers just to see it. I might be on here Saturday morning, but for sure, 100% Sunday morning. We'll be back live. Hit you with these picks, get a nice updated look, and see where we're at. Shout it out. Appreciate everybody that's popped in, and especially all of my commenters, especially like my dude Hervey. We got a new guy in the group, Mr. Alabama, Mr. Bama in Houston. We got Mr. Sam joining. I don't think I've seen Sam before. If I've seen you before, I feel bad. I know I haven't seen Mr. Bama yet. But I appreciate y'all. Y'all help making the show, especially on a solo edition. Shout y'all out. Hey, don't forget to check out the videos. It really helps us great. Y'all been excellent. Don't forget, go Chiefs.